I've made reference to the fact that I became very addicted to Mario Kart Tour once before in the past, a handful of times on this channel. It wasn't until I got a comment on my ranking every Mario Kart video that I decided to explain why I found Mario Kart Tour to be such an addicting game despite having its flaws. Let's not waste any more time on this intro and get right into the video. This segment will be focused on how Mario Kart Tour is different from the other Mario Karts. Mario Kart Tour, in comparison to the other games in the franchise, is set up to be more addicting. It's very similar to the other phone games that you keep coming back to every day. As you're probably already aware of, the normal Mario Karts can be summed up like this. A couple game modes, main one being Grand Prix. There are a certain amount of cups, the amount depends on which game you're playing. Each one contains 4 tracks. These tracks can either be new or brought back from a previous Mario Kart. Outside of Grand Prix, there's also time trials where you try and beat your times on each track in the game. Versus mode, where you can customize the rules however you please, and battle mode, where you play on unique tracks designed specifically for you to go head to head with your rivals and be the last one standing. The mainline Mario Karts are all set up to be a proper racing game experience. Mario Kart Tour takes all that and puts it into a very different format. Every 2 weeks, the game is updated with a new tour. This new tour brings entirely different cups with entirely different tracks. Majority of these tracks are returning from previous games in the series, a lot of which from Mario Kart 7. A small amount of tracks in Tour are original to the game, however. In each cup, there are 3 tracks and a challenge at the end of it. This challenge is usually something pretty fun, like taking down Goombas, keeping a combo going, or crushing a smaller dry bones. These challenges were inspired by Mission Mode in Mario Kart DS, and it's really cool to see Mission Mode return in this way. Come on, Mario Kart 9. Mission Mode! Anyways, to keep things fresh with the tracks in this game, there are different variants of each one. There's always the standard version, of course, but each track also has a variant where you drive through the track backwards, and a couple variants that add several different elements to the track to make it play differently. These are always really fun to see. Each track also has certain character and kart combinations that will give you an advantage. For each track, some characters will have 3 item slots, some will have 2, and some will have 1. Picking the characters with 3 item slots always gives you a great advantage because it's possible to get a frenzy. A frenzy is when you get the same item 3 times in a row and basically get to spam the item as much as you want while also being invincible. Certain karts and gliders will give you slightly more points as well. Oh yeah, this game has a point system. We'll get into that in a sec. This game allows you to get use out of all your drivers, karts, and gliders, which encourages you to keep unlocking more. This is mainly done through buying characters in the shop through coins or rubies. To get coins and rubies, one thing you can do is complete the challenges. There's a menu that's refreshed every 2 weeks that offers challenges to complete. The reward is often rubies or coins. Wow, that was a lot to cover there. Hopefully that gave you an idea of how this game is presented to the player in comparison to the more popular Mario Karts. I feel like I'm forgetting something though. Alright, there's multiplayer. It exists! Good job, Nintendo. Believe it or not, Mario Kart Tour has changed a fair amount since the game came out. Mario Kart Tour was once very focused on creating tracks that were based on real-life cities. While the game is still committed to this aspect, it has branched out a bit more when it comes to the tracks it makes. Some of the cities turned into tracks for this game include New York, Tokyo, Paris, and more. Mario Kart Tour still occasionally adds a new city track once in a while, but it's more focused on bringing back various tracks from the mainline games. One major way Mario Kart Tour has evolved is the character roster. This was expected from the very beginning, since a major part of this game is getting you to waste countless time spending coins and rubies to get the characters you want. A large majority of the characters that get added to this game are already existing characters wearing a different outfit. That is to be expected considering they have to pump out new characters every 2 weeks. One thing that may shock you about this game's roster when it first came out is that Rosalina, Wario, and my boy Waluigi weren't playable at launch. Oh wait, I think I might be forgetting some. Wait! Luigi wasn't even playable at launch. Luigi! You know, the guy in literally almost every Mario game ever? He's even in the promotional artwork for this game. What were they thinking? Now yes, I know all these characters are in the game now, but I just wanted to rant about that to show how far this game has come. A lot of the other things added to this game were fairly small and didn't change much. But it is cool seeing how much this game has changed since its launch. I know what you're thinking. How can they port Mario Kart onto a phone when it has no buttons for acceleration, drifting, or items? Well, here's how the controls work. You automatically go forward in this game. This is a feature in some Mario Karts called auto acceleration, except here, you can't turn it off. This does, however, make sense because, again, you're playing this on a phone. For there to be manual acceleration, you would need to put your thumb on another button, blocking a large portion of your screen and preventing you from steering or drifting. Oh yeah, at least drifting is still a thing. All you have to do is press and hold this button at the bottom of the screen and drift away. Steering and items are what you'd expect. Move your finger left and right to steer, tap the screen to use an item. The controls in this game often get attacked for being uncomfortable, but I think for what they are, they're perfectly fine. You have to remember that you're playing this on a phone, not a console. Everything else about the overall gameplay is just your standard Mario Kart experience. Except for one thing. The score. The score is basically a way of measuring how well you did on the track. Sort of. Everything you do, tricking, drifting, using an item, gliding, getting first place, all counts towards your score. At the end, you're given stars depending on how high your score was. You can also pull off combos by doing a lot of cool things at a time. The score adds a fun challenge to make the game interesting and keeps you coming back to try and beat it. Plus, every week you're placed in a group of 20 players and whoever has the highest score out of all 3 tracks in the cup wins. The better you do, the better reward you'll get. Alright, it's time. Why is this game so addicting? The answer is extremely obvious if you couldn't tell. It gives you like a million reasons to keep coming back. First of all, you get a daily login bonus. That alone already grabs people's time. Second of all, the game constantly adds new exciting characters that you want. The more characters you get, the better you'll do in the races, and the cooler you'll feel. But unless you're Elon Musk, you're not getting your hands on the entire roster for this game. Third of all, there's a ranked cup every week, and if you do well in it, you get rewarded pretty heavily. So if you're doing well, you don't want someone creeping up on you and getting a better score than you, right? Of course you're going to do the occasional check to make sure your ego's still in check. Fourth of all, the game gets new tracks every 2 weeks. Considering we're probably not getting Mario Kart 9 anytime soon, we'll take anything we can get. While Tour doesn't do nearly as good a job of remaking the tracks compared to Mario Kart 8, it's at least new content, and new content is always welcome. Fifth of all, it's freaking Mario Kart. Of course people want to play it. Who doesn't want to play Mario Kart? Sixth of all, okay, I think you get the point. So now do you get why I had to stop playing Tour? The game is tons of fun and is truly underrated, but it's so addicting. I went through like a year-long phase where I would play this game for at least an hour every day. Eventually, I just stopped. I decided it wasn't worth that much time. However, is this a bad thing on the game's part? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that there are little kids playing this and likely don't want to stop because, oh mom, look at me, I got Yoshi in a kangaroo outfit. Isn't he cool? But no, in the sense that they're just making more content for the game. The developers are just trying to add things to make the game fun. Even though the goal is to get you to play an unhealthy amount, no one said you had to. So what would I give this game out of 10? I would give it a 6 out of 10. Look, it's clearly not perfect, but for what it is, I think it's as good as it can get. A problem I have with people is when they compare this game to the main Mario Karts when it's obviously supposed to be its own thing. Mario Kart Tour knows it's never going to be anything compared to those games, but it's okay with that. It doesn't have to be. All Tour is a fun experience to waste time on when you're bored. Anyways, now that I had to play this game again to get footage for the video, I have become re-addicted to this game now. I don't even think that's a word. Well, off to go waste countless hours trying to get the bus driver Waluigi. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, but until then, keep being awesome Nintendo fans. Peace out.